Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Big Chill Podcast. You're listening to episode 24, Blue Bowels. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Big Chill Podcast. I'm joined, as always, with the boys out in Paris and in London. Eddie, let's say hello to you first. How's it going? Still no internet, I see. Are we ever going to get internet?
Supposedly October 25th is when I'm being assured that at the very latest. Well, actually, I take this back. They have assured me that by October 25th, my apartment will be capable of having the internet. This is to be their exact description. Wow. At that point, I then need a technician to actually come. But that is
boy. So what is your over-under date?
November 10th, let's say.
So we have about another month of listening to you sound like a robot 20% of the time.
Yes.
I wonder what the year cutoff is for you, though. Like, when would it become realistically 2021? I mean, we're looking like end of November, right?
I mean, my big fear, right?
If you get close, right, they're going to stop working, right?
Well, close is within reason. I think my big fear is that increased restrictions might mean that they stop sending technicians. That's which I told them the other day. I was like, my fear is here that you're going to say that my apartment is now capable of having the internet, and then you're going to tell me that it's not safe for technicians to visit my apartment for the next 6 months.
I hope that when they make your apartment able to hold the internet or whatever they're going to do, that is just a guy who walks in and plugs something to the wall and is like, you're good to go. Yeah.
No, I know what he has to do. I know he has to physically connect the fiber cable and drill through the wall and run that into the apartment. So I know he has to do that. So I do know it will require some work. I also told them we did come to a verbal agreement on the fact that I'm refusing to pay my internet bill for the length of time that I went without internet. This was the deal that I came to with Orange the other day. So I was like, we're at 2 months.
You made this deal, or that's what you propositioned to them? No,
they agreed to this deal.
Wow.
So now I'm at 2 months for free if I were to get the internet on, say now. October 25th means I basically get the next 3 months for free. Still not worth it.
It's not a huge win. I'm starting to think that as well. It doesn't feel like for 3 months of one of the most basic things on earth.
Oh, and also the internet's not super expensive here, right? It's not like the US. So we're talking about a €35 a month internet bill. It's not some crazy sum.
Here's your real issue, Eddie, is what happens if they get out to 4, 5, 6, 8 months without internet and they go, there's no fucking way we're paying this guy 8 months worth of internet. We're just not going to give him internet at all. That would be an amazing move. And it would be all that manager who's just been trolling you for months.
Well, here's the thing is I don't even know because I got the email notification that my bill was ready. Say at the end of September, and I was about to go off, right? I saw the email and I was like, oh, here we go. Dialing the first couple digits of Orange, right? Here we go, right? And then I opened the email and the bill was -€4. So I was like, I don't even know what's going on here. I don't know how I'm now profiting from my lack of internet.
They just feel bad. You're one of 7 people in Paris that doesn't have internet, and that's including the homeless.
I mean, the real good news, right, is the fact that that I wasn't canceled after our last podcast episode. So internet or not, at least you can still hear my semi-robotic voice.
Your views are accepted here. It's okay. But would you be able to get the Wi-Fi from your next door neighbor?
I've debated this. There's only one other apartment on my floor, and I almost never see anyone going in and out of there, so I don't even know for certain that there's someone there. The person who lives directly above us, I would say no. They seem to have certain challenges, shall we say?
Come on, elaborate.
Perhaps some developmental issues. don't know. There's no good way to tell this story.
He's just on a roll from the transgender debate. He's got to keep going.
Yeah.
Let's just put it
pissing off this
what else can Eddie bulldoze down?
What other disenfranchised group can Eddie plow through this week?
He's like Bill Burr without Saturday Night Live. He's just got a podcast that 30 people listen to, not all of SNL's audience.
If we recorded this podcast at like 3 a.m. my time, it would undoubtedly occasionally be interrupted by the sort of semi-wailing of a banshee from above. There are some strange moaning, odd noises that come in the middle of the night.
Just leave it alone, Sam.
Yeah, all I was kind of the only thing I was
just leave it alone.
The only thing I was getting at was maybe you need to make an excuse to go to their house and then ask for a drink or something. Then when they're not looking, just quickly look at their Wi-Fi router, take a photo of the password, and you're done.
Oh yeah, that's an option. Yeah.
But now I just need to know more.
Let's just put it this way: if I were to host a haunted house for the upcoming Halloween period, I have all of the sound effects ready.
Oh boy! And Sam, back from vacation, back to your usual haunt.
Yeah, it's fantastic to come back to London only to be told that from 2 days' time you basically can't leave the house again. So they just announced that London.
Is it that strict in London?
So it's now at the point where I can't meet other households indoors, which means pubs, restaurants, other people's houses, that kind of thing. So the only place I can meet people up to 6 is now outdoors. So
at least that's good for you. And that's good news for your weekly dogging sessions.
As long as they're safe, my sanity will maintain.
You can tell that Frank's not familiar with the term dogging. That's why I got zero reaction from him. It's it's when strangers meet in public places.
No. Hang on. What is dogging, Frank?
I have no idea.
No. Give us what do you think? What do you think?
The only time I've ever heard someone use dogging would be like if they're dogging it and they're not like giving enough effort. They're like being lazy.
I assure you that's not the case here.
Dogging is an activity that requires effort.
Yeah, so
it's when strangers meet in public places
meet
maybe car parks or truck stops. Imagine that kind of scenario, and just a bunch of people sharing a mutual love of public exposure.
Got it.
And randomly fucking each other.
Okay, I think it was implied. So.
It needed to be brutal. And there's famous dogging spots in the UK. And funnily enough, one of the most famous ones was when Eddie and I were at university in Guildford. One of them is on the Hog's Back. Eddie, if you remember that, that's kind of considered.
I'm familiar with the Hog's Back, yeah.
Oh, I know you are.
Eddie, you've been acquainted with 1 or 2 Hog's Backs in your day, I'm sure.
No, in fairness, I mean the Hog's Back's really close to where my grandparents used to live, and my grandfather would always get annoyed because he would take his dog for walks there, and he would occasionally come across people, and so he would go on angry rants about the fact that his scenic walks were being disrupted by sort of public sex.
Oh, to be a white privileged man in England, huh, Eddie?
I mean, in fairness, everyone taking part in that was almost certainly white.
Beautiful, idyllic Surrey.
Yeah, you had to go far to find a non-white person in that particular area, so it was almost exclusively a white event.
So how was the vacation, Sam? Anything exciting?
Not really. I didn't see a police officer for about 4 or 5 days, and there's no civilization down there. It's kind of fantastic.
Hey, hold on a second. Why is that your litmus test of?
It's not. I just remember. Normally? So I got back to
dogging. Obviously, I was dogging all weekend and not one cop.
It's a dogger. Yeah, it's a dogger's paradise down there.
Yeah,
dog eat dog world down there.
To be fair, there's lots of people walking their dogs, and there's a lot of spots where dogging would be rife. Not that I would. I saw them. I saw some spots.
Okay. We'll leave it at that.
He scoped them out.
We don't want you to get in trouble with the police, after the event now.
Well, he'd have time to run away because he hadn't seen one in the entire time.
Yeah, but now we don't have recorded evidence, right? The police are all around him now, closing in on him. So,
oh shit! Sorry, I'll just close my blinds and stay in now. It's a mini lockdown, so they can't get me.
Yeah, I didn't know London was that bad because I thought I had read like up north, like Liverpool and Manchester were really bad, right? Like on death row lockdown.
Oh yeah, Liverpool's basically been exterminated as a city. It doesn't exist anymore. COVID is just
about time.
It was. I saw this very funny picture today of where Darth Vader and the Emperor are talking, and they're talking about how this is Maggie Thatcher telling Boris Johnson what tier level to put Liverpool on in a COVID lockdown. It's absolutely brilliant. But yeah, so Liverpool is like the worst. So there's tiers in England. The UK is still confusing, but tier 3 is basically a lockdown. Pubs and restaurants just shut, period. Tier 2, London got announced today along with a load of other places, which is basically one short of lockdown where you can't really mix with anyone outside of your own household. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Can't wait.
So that like ruins Tinder.
Yes, that for a single person like myself ruins a lot of things.
Well, unless you're Vasilis, then you just don't follow the rules.
Oh no, but even Vasilis he might be on suicide watch, right? Because our restrictions in Paris are going to be a bit different in terms of
curfewed.
Yeah, we're curfewed, so you can't be out after 9 o'clock unless you have a specific reason, like going to work or coming home from work or that kind of thing. And so for Vasilis, post 9 p.m. dates are going to be off the table. I mean, I suppose
Eddie,
the one thing you can
that's
do...
going to suck for you too, Eddie.
Why?
Because you're out all the time at Bugsy's.
Yeah, but I'm usually home. I mean, Bugsy's closes at 10 now anyway, so by definition, at the latest, I'm kind of home by 10 o'clock. So being home by 9 is not going to be a huge change for me.
It will suck for watching football, American football, on Sundays.
Yeah. Yeah, all watching sport is in public places now is kind of just off the table because the 9 o'clock shut. It means you got to leave anywhere at 8:30, right? So it's gone.
Yeah, you can still dog it out there. You just can't watch sports.
Okay, that's not a saying for dogging.
We missed a chance. Maybe we should rename the podcast The Dog Show, and we could have
Dog Pound.
Oh yeah, it could have been just a Cleveland Browns podcast. Cleveland Browns / public sex. The only two topics we cover.
And a lot of it could be Odell Beckham related too.
Oh yeah, he'd be co-host.
He'd be featured. He'd be prominently featured.
Imagine just getting that like direct message coming in just from OBJ going, I listened to your podcast and it really speaks to me. I'd like to be a part of it.
And then imagine the sponsorship opportunities. We'd be like, and this podcast was brought to you by Pampers.
Wet wipes.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's no way you can get it all off your face with only your tongue.
So with Eddie, do you want to do a nice little segue into the NFL now? Now that we've talked about OBJ getting shit on week after week?
Sure, yeah. So talking about someone in the NFL getting shit on, it was a rough week for some of our picks this week. So has to be said that a sad moment has happened, and one of us has dropped below 500 in the picks against the spread this season.
Oh, that's me, isn't it?
It is you, Frank. At least you got that one right. So,
Burn.
there was a summary of our performance last week. Against the spread, I went 9-5. I mean, sorry, straight up, I went 9-5. And against the spread, I went 7-7. Sam, against the spread, you went 8-6. And sorry, again, straight up, you went 8-6. Against the spread, you took quite the beating and went 4-10.
I have had the shittest last 3 weeks.
And Frank, you went 7-7 straight up, and somehow, even though you were worse, you were better straight up. You were worse straight up than Sam. You were better against the spread than Sam, and you went 5-9.
Wow, that's bad.
So our overall season records now straight up. I am 54-22-1. Sam is 50-26-1. And Frank, you are 47-29-1. And against the spread, I am 41-34-2. Sam, you are 38-37-2. And Frank, you are 37-38-2.
Just to give you a concept of how much of a fall from grace that is, at the end of week 2, I was 21-10 against the spread. So in 3 weeks, I've averaged only getting 5 right.
I mean, the 4-10 is a bad beating, right? I mean, and admittedly, we all got killed by the Bills. So obviously, our last podcast, we kind of made our predictions for that. I mean, the Bills is where we really got our asses handed to us, though. I mean, we were all confident. Frank boldly predicted that the Bills would score at least 40 points. It turns out that they needed to in order to win. But
yeah, say I was right. They just didn't capitalize. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. We all got the Bills wrong. We all got the Bucks wrong. We all got the Chiefs wrong. We all got the Niners wrong.
Won't make those mistakes again until this week.
Yeah, although at least good news for you, some of those mistakes you can't make because some of those teams are not playing, I think.
No Thursday
night
game.
They are all back because the Chiefs game's just been moved to Sunday. So
the
you
Chills.
can make that mistake. The Chills.
Is that our team?
That's the big chill matchup. The Chiefs against the Bills.
Oh, we should do that. We should have our game of the week.
The Chills.
Big chill matchup.
That is nice. That reminds me of that commercial when the guy writes way back when he wrote chefs in the end zone instead of Chiefs. And he's like, it looks great, Bob, but who are the chefs? And he's like, it's such a good commercial. That's old
once again,
school.
we've touched on one of your niche pleasures, which is weird NFL-related commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw another Baker Mayfield one where he's in a book club. Did you see that one yet?
I think I've seen them all. I think it's impossible to avoid them.
That's a pretty good one. It's still not as good as the seats one. That's my favorite. I love that one.
Well, maybe one day if this takes off, you two can be in a commercial together.
That'd be nice. I could be like the extra.
Yeah, Sam, do you want to start us off and get our week 6 picks going? See if we can pick things up, see if everyone can get back above 500.
So, kick things off. Who is taking the Falcons at the Vikings? Vikings 4-point favorites. Are you two sticking with them? Because I sure as shit isn't.
I would rather have Kirk Cousins running through my veins than Matty Ice at this point. The Falcons just look lost. I mean, obviously they don't have Dan Quinn anymore, so maybe they'll be more found. But I can't go with the Falcons until they get a win. The only thing I think I'm concerned about is I don't know what Dalvin Cook's status is. I think he went out with a groin injury last week. So,
Frank, before you move, it may not change anything for you. The expectation seems to be that Cook will not play.
Oh, that changes everything. I'll take the Vikings to win. Give me the Falcons with the points.
Eddie, what was you're going with the Vikings on the spread, yeah?
Yeah, I'm going to keep riding the Kirk Cousins train. You know, he's covering those spreads, and I think this is a week that I'm going to predict actually the Vikings really look good this week.
So you guys picked the Texans after they fired their head coach, saying that, that will let them loose. They'll start playing some football. They'll start winning. So you don't think that about the Falcons this time around?
No, because I actually thought the Texans were a decent team. I don't think the Falcons, after watching, even when you watch the Texans, they didn't look terrible at times. They looked decent, and they were playing really tough competition. The Falcons just have never really looked that great this year for the talent that they have.
Yeah, and I also just think we, even early on, right, we identified the fact that their secondary and their defense is just not very good. So even if offensively they pick up a bit, and they've got a lot of talent on that side of the ball, even if they turn up there, I still think it's a really nice matchup for Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, because obviously they also have a lot of offensive talent. So I think this might be the over in this game might tempt me, but I think that it's a nice matchup for the Vikings right as they're trying to regain confidence.
Yeah, I think we're looking at about 55 on the over, so it's quite high.
It's pretty high, but also in games involving the Falcons, one team could go over in that. So
yeah, that's true. I think they're letting up about 32 average at the moment. So all you're really asking for is another 20 or so from the other team or them. So yeah. I'm going Vikings as well. I think that loss to the Seahawks was pretty brutal. So I think there'll be a bit of a bounce back there. So yeah, I'm going with the Vikings there. Ravens are the Eagles, and Ravens are 7.5 point favorites.
That spread seems a little strong considering Lamar Jackson has not looked great all week on ESPN. It must be an off week because all they kept talking about are the Ravens in trouble because they keep trying to force Lamar Jackson to throw instead of just doing his thing, which to me is amazing because last year ESPN said he was an amazing throwing quarterback. So now I don't know why all of a sudden that's such a bad thing. So, I think the Eagles are starting to turn it around a little bit. They're not playing spectacular, but they're playing much better in the past 2 weeks than they have in the first 2 weeks. I think they can keep that spread close. I think they can keep it a one-score game.
Yeah, the number is a little bit tough. I'm pretty confident the Ravens will win. The number seems right around the sort of correct mark. The one thing you will say about the Ravens, they're very good at beating bad to mediocre teams. So I think this is one where, based on that fact, I'm going to take the Ravens to win and to cover the spread.
All right. Bears at the Panthers. Panthers are 1.5 point favorites. So Panthers have won 3 in a row. I think they hadn't won a game for about 300 days before that or something. It's obviously not a fantastic stat, but it's just interesting to see a little bit of a transformation there with Bridgewater. So what do you think? Are the Panthers going to beat the Bears? I think yes. And I'll take them to cover that spread as well. I've actually liked backing the Panthers over the past couple of games and they've come good for me. So I think I'm going to continue with that. I think they look a good team. They look a good offensive unit at the moment with Bridgewater. And I can see that 1.5 points looking pretty good against the Bears team that I think the wheels are starting to come off that now. They rode the luck to get to where they were and now it's just kind of all unraveling. So I think that's actually a good spread, and I think the Panthers will win that pretty comfortably.
I am going to disagree with you. For starters, I'm going to set the over-under on the number of minutes that I watch of this game at 1.5, and I'm taking the under. But equally... I
like how you're betting on that, like you don't have a hand in it.
Sometimes things are outside of my control. For starters, I guess red zone, right? This is the issue.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
How many minutes is this going to appear on red zone for? But I think this is a week the Panthers come back to earth a little bit. I think this is one of those lines that's reacted. I don't think they're that good, and this line is just a reaction to them having played maybe their best couple of games in a long, long time. And even though I don't think the Bears are as good as their record makes them look either, they're at least a competent, decent team. So to me, I think the Bears should be outright favorites for this game. So I'm definitely going to take the Bears, and I'm going to take them with the points.
Oh, not so fast, my friend. I'm going to go with Sam on this one. I can't get on board the Bears. I think it was yesterday, they're statistically one of the worst ever 4-1 teams in the NFL since 1985. It was based off of like DVOA or like one of those statistics where they put in how well you play with the schedule and your opponents and everything like that. And according to that, they were, I think, like the second or third worst ever at 4-1. And I agree with it. I've never been sold on them, even with their 4 wins. The Panthers, I think, Bridgewater's looked decent, and I think he'll continue it. And it'll be close, and I don't think I'll watch any of it either, like Eddie, unless Red Zone forces me to. But I'll go Panthers and Panthers.
Here's the real question for you, Frank. Would you rather be one of the worst 4-1 teams of all time or a bad 3-2 team?
I'd rather be the bad 3-2 team, because then I don't have a stat thrown out on Twitter about how bad we are as a 4-1 team.
That's the issue, right? You're kind of a victim. You're kind of a victim of your own success. If they just lost to the Bucks, no stats are coming out.
All right. Next up, beloved Bengals, the Colts, and the Colts are 7.5-point favorites. I mean, the Bengals have been somewhat competitive before that game, and then they were just. I mean, that wasn't even a coming back down to earth. That was an OBJ shitting on what happened there. It was painful to watch, actually. Whereas, what was it, sacked 7 times? It was insane how much they got to him as well.
But is it actually an OBJ shitting? Because that would create euphoria for OBJ if he actually was shit on, or was it like
the Ravens? Got an OBJ
did he get blue
on.
Shit?
Yeah, no, OBJ. So the Ravens got a shit on them, OBJ style, and the Bengals got shat on by OBJ unscrupulously. It was just, brutal.
OBJ's worst nightmare is blue bowels.
It's fair.
Come on, that's a great one. I just came up with that.
That's pretty good.
I'm glad that you're not sitting at home preparing those lines.
Yeah, I'm just sitting at my desk. Blue bowels, that's a good one.
But Eddie, can't you see in this video, like behind him, he's got some sort of like a madman's house where he's just written all these sayings on his wall in shit.
Yeah, it's one of those for the listeners, but you can't see. It's like one of those like things where people are connecting the strings and like different images and stuff.
I've always wanted to be able to do that. I've always wanted a job where I could put a board up and connect strings.
Yeah,
didn't have that. Now you finally found it.
I didn't have that, Eddie. I had more like, when you turn on the lights in someone's like mental asylum cell and they've just written words everywhere in blood.
Oh, in his own, smeared in his own feces.
Yeah, Frank's done it in his own shit, talking about shit puns.
It's fair to say, right, we've said it before, but you do not get this type of NFL analysis anywhere else.
And with that one,
Frank, I'm going to make my pick on this one. The Bengals last week reminded me of that Mike Tyson quote, which is everybody has a plan until they get punched in their sweet, sweet mouth. And I think we saw the Bengals are legitimately bad. So I think the Colts bounce back. I think the Colts win and cover.
Yeah, I think the Colts will win. I can't get on board Phillip Rivers this year. He just has not looked good. The Bengals looked terrible last week. I'm going to say the Colts win. Is it 7.5 still? Was that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take the Bengals with the points. I'll get on the Sam train.
Wow. Frank is threading the needle on most of these picks at the moment. It's a smart move, actually, because it's ensuring that you're at least 50% right. I mean, I guess not totally, but it is in the heavy spread favorites. It's giving you at least kind of a security blanket that either your straight up or your spread picks look a little bit better next week.
Yeah, I'm just connecting the dots with string right now.
That's a euphemism of sorts, but this would be the first week that I go against the Bengals. So I'm a little bit emotional about that one. But the thing is, Rivers was bad. Rivers was bad against the Browns. He didn't throw a touchdown, 2 picks. I think I saw a stat that he's got 4 touchdowns and 5 picks in the last few. And it doesn't fill me with confidence. But the thing is, you're having a good defensive unit and a pretty good offensive unit. And what I saw from the Bengals last week, I don't think they can be worse, but I do think the Colts will cover that spread. So I'm going to go Colts win and they cover. It's painful, but I hope.
Yeah, it's It's not in the last few games. That's his season stats: 4 touchdowns, 5
That's it.
interceptions.
Yeah.
Eddie, who has more yards passing, Joe Burrow or Phillip Rivers?
Burrow.
Oh, I would guess it's Burrow, and I would even guess it's maybe not even close.
It's pretty close. It's like 80 yards more. Who has more interceptions, Burrow or Rivers?
I'd say it's Rivers again, but he probably threw more interceptions in week 1 than Burrow may have thrown all season.
Also Rivers.
What a glowing indictment for him. Oh,
Well, what I really want to hear Frank's thoughts on are the next game, because this is a.
How do you know what his next game is?
Oh, because we know how I pick the spreads. We know how I pick the list. So, Frank, Browns at the Steelers, and the Steelers are 3.5-point favorites. So, what are you going to do?
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. The Steelers, I still think, should have lost against the Eagles had the Eagles not kicked that 57-yard field goal and ruined their chances. This time, they're playing a slightly better team in the Browns, and the Browns are going to beat the Steelers. I have no confidence in the Steelers still. I don't have much confidence in the Browns. I think the Browns are the better team. I do not think either team is a deep playoff team. I think either team is a one and done in the playoffs. But I think the Browns will beat the Steelers. They just have more talent on their team. And I think the move is going to be getting to Big Ben or Little Ben, whatever we want to call him, slightly smaller Ben, and having Myles Garrett jump up to his 6'10" frame of Big Ben, rip off his helmet, and hit him in the face with it. Repeat of last year.
Wow. Okay. This is an interesting one for me because we're getting to watch slowly over time your assessment of both of each of these teams change. So went from neither one of these teams is a playoff team, Steelers are awful, losing record, to now.
I mean, I have to say they're a playoff team. They're 4-0. Like statistically now, they're going to make the playoffs.
No, but but my point is now it's like, okay, they're going to make the playoffs, but they're going to lose in the first round. They're one and done. And then it's going to be like, okay, I know that they're in the divisional round, but they're going to lose in that. All right. I know they're in the championship game, but they're definitely going to lose here. They're in the Super Bowl. All right. They're done now. Okay.
I can't wait till they go on like a 5-game losing streak, and then I can just shit on you guys.
To be clear, neither one of us picked them to make the playoffs either. Well, I think.
Oh, I don't care.
For example, so I mean, we were both not nearly as down on them as you were, but this is a tough one. I would not have any confidence either way. I think both teams have shown flashes of extremely good play and then moments where they've looked a little bit unconvincing on both sides of the ball. So I've been kind of preaching the upside of the Browns for a few weeks, and I'm going to keep doing that. So I'm going to take the Browns to win, and I'm going to take the Browns with the points. Yeah,
this one was quite difficult because the Browns, since that loss to the Ravens, have just completely turned it. I think they're averaging just under like 37 points a game. It's crazy. But then you look at the Steelers, and they've got those flashes of brilliance with the offense. Like, what was it? Chase Claypool got 4 touchdowns against the Eagles last week. I don't know. I think I want to take the team that isn't favorite as with. I just think the Browns. I think the Browns are better value at 3.5 point. So
it's worth saying, right? The Steelers at home against AFC North teams are 7-1 straight up over their last 8 games at home against fellow AFC North teams. So they are pretty reliable at home in sort of divisional games.
Yeah.
My one question would be, go ahead, make your pick.
I'm going to go Browns, and I'll say they obviously cover that spread.
My question would be, if you're a Browns fan, do you almost want them to lose this game? Because is your fear with the Browns that they get overconfident and they all start to believe in themselves, like get ahead of themselves in terms of what they think they are, and beating the Steelers on the road and suddenly being 5-1 might be the worst thing for their season in some respects? Or do you want them to get the win that makes them really feel like they're on the right path?
I don't think it's going to matter either way because they're going to lose in the first round of the playoffs if they make it.
Well, what if they play each other? Then what are you going to do, Frank?
Yeah,
Who
that's
plays?
true.
If the Browns offense plays the Browns defense?
No, the Browns play the Steelers in round 1.
Why would that ever be his question? I would always go with the win. I think it's pretty tough to say that a team should intentionally lose because you're worried about like momentum or arrogance or showmanship or whatever it is.
I might be tempted if I were a Browns fan, or even if I was part of their coaching staff, to hope for a close loss. That to me might be the best of both worlds, that you don't destroy the team's confidence, but at the same time you get to remind them, don't get ahead of ourselves in the way that maybe we have the year before, or even perhaps at the beginning of this season, because as of yet, none of you have won playoff games. You've proven nothing. So there might be a nice moment just to remind them of that fact. But that also might be doing them a disservice and misreading the sort of personality of the team. But that's just my one fear with them.
Frank, what was your pick again?
Browns.
Next game is the rearranged Broncos at Pats, and Pats are 9.5-point favorites. I think that line is I think that's about right. I think I'd probably say the Patriots win this over a score. Anything over 10, I would have been a little bit more concerned at. I think Locke's coming back for the Broncos as well. But are you all going Patriots?
Yeah, they have a few.
Anyone fancying Broncos here to cover that?
The Broncos have a few players coming back, including Locke. Now, the issue is they probably lost Melvin Gordon, who complained about the fact that they had lost their bye week by this game being moved, and then decided to go out and celebrate that fact by getting a DUI. So,
Well, maybe that's why he was pissed, because he knew this was going to happen. You can't give him days off.
what a bad look for him. Like, I think the DUI happened at like 1 a.m. So in the current climate, why are you out at 1 a.m.? It happened on the Tuesday, right? Monday or Tuesday? Oh, the week of a game. So when you really should be starting to focus on the game and taking your preparation seriously. I mean, just a really bad look for him. But
I mean, it's kind of bullshit, right? Because he was pulled over in a 35 mile per hour zone, only going 71. I mean, he was barely over the speed limit. What a bullshit cop, huh?
Oh,
what an asshole for pulling him over.
Frank, you're forgetting the golden rule, which is when you've had a little bit too much to drink and you're driving, you want to get home faster so you don't kill yourself.
He's only going 71. That's only over the speed limit everywhere in Denver, probably, no matter what road he's on, let alone a residential road.
But no, it's just a really bad look for him. I'm going to assume he doesn't play, so that even though they got some weapons back, they're losing one there. But that's not confirmed at this stage. But it'd be kind of ridiculous for the team to play him, given that what's happened there. Pretty confident that the Patriots will win. I've picked them in the survivor pool that I'm in with Frank. So they're kind of, in a sense, my safest bet of the week from just which team is going to just straight up win a game. 9.5 is a lot. You kind of worry that you do have a couple players coming back from having had COVID, maybe not practicing as much. At the same time, you have a Bill Belichick team that's prepared for one opponent for 2 weeks. So even if they've had limited practices, you just have to say that it's bold to pick against them. So I'm going to take the Patriots, and I'm going to take them to cover the spread. But 9.5 to me seems like, again, just around the right number.
Frank?
I'll make it easy. I don't think the Broncos are a good team at all, whether Lindsey comes back or Drew Lock comes back or whatever. I'll go with the Patriots to win, Patriots to cover.
What a game. I think we've got to go Frank for this one, haven't we? The Lions at the Jags. And the Lions 3-point favorites.
So this one for me is about as easy as it gets. The Lions are going to win this, and they're going to win it comfortably. The Jaguars, so 3 straight winless teams have now beaten the Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I mean, we've obviously discussed how good the Lions are quite a bit on this podcast. And I do like that you are now framing them winning games based on the incompetence of their opponents. So you seem to have kind of abandoned ship when it comes to the Detroit Lions. I'm going to take them to win and cover the spread, and it is purely based on the fact that the Jags are awful.
Yeah, I think
I will
exactly
also say
the same logic.
I'll also say the over-under on me watching this game. It was 1.5 minutes previously for the other game. This is 30 seconds, and I'm really hoping I hit the under.
I completely agree with that logic. It's nothing to do with the other team winning for a positive reason. It's the idea of a team just winning because the other team is so bad. I mean, the Jags are they've lost 4 in a row, and even though Detroit give up roughly over 30 points a game, the Jags just can't defend. They can't score. It just doesn't look good. So I'll take the Lions to cover as well. It's because no one's good. It's just because one is slightly less terrible than the other. So divisional game next is Texans at the Titans, and half the demolition job of the Bills. Titans are 3-point favorites. That looks really good for me. I thought the spread would be a little bit bigger after that spread, not by much, but for me, I think it was really impressive to see how they dismantled the Bills team. So the Texans won, but I wasn't really enjoying them. I know they had tough games, but I wasn't really enjoying what they were doing previously. So I think the Titans are actually a good bet at this one. So I was picking the Titans. But what do you guys think?
Yeah. This is a tough one. I get why the spread is maybe a little bit smaller than you would have expected just because it's a short week. The interesting spin, right, going into the game against the Bills was everyone was saying like, oh, they haven't been able to practice. And that was going to be the reason why the Bills had such a huge advantage. Then after the game, there's been like quite a widespread reaction to it of like, oh, actually maybe being off for 14 days in the middle of an NFL season is really great for everyone's body. And they were just super fresh going into a game. And so the lack of practice actually doesn't matter, which is an interesting spin because there's kind of been, I've read several articles where people have now been advocating maybe NFL teams basically shouldn't practice during the season. Now, I think that might be an extreme take, but it definitely may be worth considering for teams because they really overwork players at times during the season. And maybe it's just worth cutting that back and just being like, you know, the best thing for you, get really good sleep, have your body feel really rested. Maybe that's the thing we really need from you on Sunday. So obviously now the Titans are going into a situation where they have the opposite of all that rest. I guess they weren't pushed too hard by the Bills, so at least they have that going for them. I'm tempted to take the Texans because I think this might be a good matchup for them in the sense that I don't think the Titans will get great pressure on them, and that's usually where things become a real issue for them. But I'm going to take the Titans to win and to cover the spread.
I'm putting out the upset alert. I'm going Houston Texans to win, and then obviously with the points.
I mean,
they got rid of Bill O'Brien. Romeo Crennel now is in there. He's calling the offense better. They're going to put up a good amount of points, and I think they can outlast the Titans.
So you think that Jags game was a really good springboard for them to go on and beat the Titans?
Yeah, I mean, I think they weren't like – I mean, they were within a score for most of their losses to questionably, good teams. In Kansas City, Baltimore, Steelers, and even Minnesota isn't a bad 1-4 team. So I think having that win finally, now it kind of gets some pressure off of them that they've not, finally gotten that win, and now they can build off of it. Titans coming off a short week where, as Eddie was right, I think, in saying they had a lot of days off to kind of rest and everything, but now they're coming back off of that rest on a short week, so they might be – not quite ready yet. So I think they are catching them at the right time here. So I'll stick with my upset.
Washington at the Giants, and the Giants are favorites, 2.5 points.
Who thought you would ever be saying those words?
I actually saw it and was slightly taken aback. I actually thought I'd had like a small typo in my sheet because I was like, who's the other team? I was like, well, maybe, but it's still pretty upsetting to look at.
Yeah. I don't really know where to go on this one. We don't even know which quarterback is starting for Washington yet, right? Because kind of have
I think
to.
they said it's going back to Allen
if he's healthy. That's the question mark, right? So then, if he's healthy enough to play, I'm going to take the Giants because I do think that they've looked competent over the last couple of weeks, and I think that they'll be able to do enough to beat a very bad Washington team.
Yeah, I would never go as far in the last 2 years to say I'm confident in the Giants winning a game, but I have to be pretty confident here that they can beat the Redskins. You're looking at a team who
done it again.
What?
He said the R word again.
Damn it.
I mean, I thought you were just joking because it's got so common now. But no, impressive. Your racism has no bounds. It is just relentless.
Timeless. So, yeah, I mean, the Giants have played pretty well. You know, they gave Dallas a game. They gave the Rams a game the week before. Not so much with the Niners, but I think they should be able to beat the Washington FC here. The only concern I have is, do the Giants just go into tank mode and not care anymore? I mean, how many losses, and especially I think even decently close losses where they had chances to win these last two games, how many of those do you go through before you just tank and give up and not give a shit anymore? So they're getting on that verge. It's kind of like the Jets. I don't know how a Jets player can get up week after week now and go 100% on the field. It's like not worth it at this point. So,
well, as it transpires, Frank, some Jets players aren't doing that anymore.
Yeah, some have said no more. I'll go with the Giants. The unfortunate part here, going on Eddie's theme of amount of time watching a game, I will unfortunately have to sit through probably one of the top 5 worst games of the NFL season in Washington versus the Giants.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be one of the ugliest. So you're taking them to cover that 2.5?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is one of those ugly games where I feel like there's going to be an against the spread upset. And truth be told, I haven't actually gone that many against the spread. So I think this is one of those flipper coins. And for that reason, I'm going Washington. I mean, the Giants, they're dead last in scoring overall. They look pretty terrible. Washington are now, I think, what was that stat against the Rams where Smith and, was it Allen? I think combined for like 79 passing yards it was all pretty bad. But truth be told, 2 terrible teams, flip a coin. I'd rather take the one with a slight disadvantage in the spread. So I'm going to go Washington and to take the spread as well on 2.5.
I'd agree with you, Sam, if the spread was a little bit higher. But the fact that it's under a field goal means that it's difficult for me to feel like I'm getting any real advantage out of taking the underdog. That would be my big take on this. If you told me Washington was 3.5 point underdogs, then I might be tempted to say, like, okay, if it's a close game, they can still lose. But now Frank has been threading the needle all day, but you're really threading the needle if you think, I think that Washington's going to lose, but only by 1 or 2 points.
I think I'm putting Washington
I know you're
to win,
saying
so they'll cover the
I know
spread.
you're saying you're taking them both ways because you think it's a coin flip between 2 bad teams.
Oh, he'll take them both ways.
Which one's on which side of you, Sam?
No
Who gets mouth? I mean, surely Alex Smith gets the mouth. He's earned it. Just he suffered enough.
Has he?
I think so.
After that, he will.
That was the only thing
more.
Yeah, that was the only thing that got him through those dark times. Just that thought. If I can make it back to the NFL, maybe I'll have Sam's mouth as an option.
He doesn't even know me. Am I like internet
Or does
famous?
he?
Or am I internet famous?
Well, you would be perfect couple for each other because you'd be the relationship with the 2 blandest names on earth. Oh, Alex Smith and Sam Jones.
Sorry, Edward and Hewitt.
Oh, no. Sorry. No. Sam Jones is way blander than Edward Hewitt. I'm not insulting you. I don't mean your name is bad. I just mean you have two
I'm really offended. This is definitely a sore spot on Sam.
He isn't offending me, but I do think your name is more dull. I think Frank, actually, to be fair, I think Frank is the duller name of our three names. It's just a surname for him that has some interest about it. I think Frank has the dullest. You have the dullest first name.
He's going insulting.
He's coming out with it.
Yeah.
Which is also great because that's like Frank's family name. So you're just going after his entire family.
Is it?
You've upset a lot of people in my family right now.
No insult. I just said it was a little bit duller than ours.
No, you were like,
a little bit duller is not what you said.
That's not an insult.
Frank, you have the fucking worst, dullest name on the planet, I think is what the quote was.
Now who's exaggerating?
No, but Sam, it's not an insult to your name, but you have to admit that Sam Jones is not exactly...
Well, it's Samuel. It's not just Sam.
Oh, Samuel, are you?
Or Samuel, however you say
it. So is it Sam, like U-L Jones?
Yeah, he's like U-Haul.
Wouldn't that just be Samuel?
Oh, Samuel Jones.
Like initials.
Right. No, it's S-A-M-U-E-L. UEL.
Oh, see, this is where we've been getting it wrong the whole time. His name is way more exotic than we thought, Frank. His name is like Samuel Jones.
Yeah. Like the Italians, like Samuel. No, it's biblical, my name.
Cool.
Yeah, biblically common.
Yeah.
It is pretty common in the UK.
Is Jones biblical too? Were there a lot of Palestinians called Jones?
All right, let me just throw this out there. If I type in Sam Jones in Wikipedia, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23,
Are you
28
for people?
28 people come up on Wikipedia for Sam Jones. Well, I'll say 27 because one is Samantha Jones from Sex and the City. So we'll take that one
That's
out.
my icon. That's who I was named.
Which, oddly enough, she has the closest personality to real life Sam Jones. So that kind of makes sense.
Why did you say Samantha like that?
It's from what's the one with? Oh shit, I can't think of the name. With Russell Brand.
Forget it. The Greek or whatever it is.
No, the other one, the preview one before that, where he breaks up with Kristen Bell.
Oh, Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yeah, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Yeah. Rogan does a bit where he's like, where he has like the cocktail and he's like, "I'm Samantha, I'm the slutty one." And he's talking like that.
I'll put it this way. So, as Frank and I know, we've got a long history of looking up last names. Houseofnames.com for anyone who's looking for their most reliable surname website in the world. But the surname Jones, there appear to be 2.5, nearly 2.6 million people in the world with the surname Jones. I'm going to guess that's low. I'm not trusting this website anymore. Now, according to this, there are 96,000 Hewitts and there are 24,000 Dukas. So if we're going to go...
Boom.
If we're going to associate blandness with how common something it is, then you're losing on this one, I'm afraid, Mr. Jones.
That sounds good, though. Jets, Dolphins. Dolphins are 9.5 points favourites. Cheers.
That's smooth.
It wasn't. I just bulldozed past it.
He's given up. He's now realized how badly the numbers are playing against him. Oh, did you say 2.6 million? Oh, shit.
It's a super common name in the UK. So I'm guessing that most of them would be in the UK.
I think there's quite a few Joneses. I mean, we just discussed a game, for example, where Daniel Jones is the quarterback for the Giants. So there is a Hewitt in the NFL, I will say that. There actually might be two now. But there's way more Joneses. There's way more
Not
Joneses.
in the NFL.
No, there are actually. There's no Dukas. We confident in that respect.
Have you ever met another Duca, Frank? Outside the
Hopefully
family. Outside the family, of course.
Not like in person, no.
I mean, you met Duca de Thay, right? Once.
I met a horse that slightly had a name.
A lot of horses. Duca very common in the horse naming society.
Yeah.
Bland horse name.
Super bland horse name.
Actually, in fairness, both Frank and I have very bland horse names. Obviously, I've got Mr. Ed, and he has all the Ducas in horse racing. So
Whoa. I also have Frankel.
Also true. So, Sam, if you were a horse, you could say that you had the most exciting name. But sadly for you, you are not one.
Sadly.
Well, you're a size queen, so you'd probably be pretty happy if you were a horse.
There's nothing to do.
You'd be like...
There are 250 horses with the name Jones in it.
Oh, wow, look at that. Boring even as a horse.
There's 50 Ducas. That's a lot.
That's
considering
a lot.
if you
crazy.
like if you proportionalize that with the amount of humans with the name Duca. There's only 3 Hewitts. The last one raced in Australia 2013. A King Hewitt was the horse.
What were the other two?
We are a rare breed.
Hewitt and Hewitts.
They kind of ran out of ideas.
One thing you can say about Hewitts are very creative when it comes to naming things.
Actually, Eddie, could that have been your family that bought a horse in 2004?
No, sadly not. I wish we'd had King Hewitt in Australia. That would have been nice.
Well, King Hewitt in Australia only raced 3 times and never got better than 5th. So
sounds about right.
Maybe he's out to stud right now.
Just living the life.
What a life.
Anyway, let's try another smooth Sam segue. So,
I'll take Dolphins. Yeah, so I took the Dolphins for my survivor pick. I was a little nervous about that, but I have to go against what I think is the worst team in the NFL, maybe one of the worst teams the NFL has seen in a few years. So the Dolphins, yeah, they're not great. They're decent. They put up a lot of points, so I'd expect them to score a lot. And in that regard, I'm confident that they can win because I don't see the Jets being able to put up 27 points. I can see the Dolphins putting up 27 pretty easily on the Jets. So I'll stick with that. The spread isn't that much, so I'll even take the Dolphins to cover.
Isn't that much? It's the biggest spread of the week.
Yeah. And you know what, Eddie? It's not that much.
Joint with the Pats, isn't it?
With the Patriots, yeah.
Do we need to go through the Jets' last few games?
No, please.
Lost by 20 to the Cardinals, lost by 11 to Denver, lost by 29 to the Colts, lost by 18 to the Niners, and 10 to the Bills. So they haven't come within this spread yet.
That, to me, is going to be the issue, right? And I hate being one of those people, in a way, who makes a prediction based on statistics. But no team goes 0-16 against the spread. So sooner or later, the Jets, even if they lose every game, are going to cover a spread. And I'm gonna pick this as the week that they do it. I'm gonna take the Dolphins to win, but I'm gonna take the Jets plus 9.5. I don't feel that comfortable taking the Dolphins minus 9.5 points.
That's because you don't believe in Fitzmagic.
Look, to me, this week could go almost one of two ways. One, they win by 30 points. The other is they lose. Either scenario seems almost as likely to me, but I don't feel great about it. But it's going to be this statistical move that I hate because I haven't picked a lot of underdogs this week. So I do have to find a couple somewhere. And then on top of it, the Jets are not going to go 9.5, are not going to go 0-16 against the spread. So they've got to get one somewhere.
I disagree with you on that respect. So I'm going Dolphins, and I think they'll cover it. I think the way Frank reeled off those scores made me even more convinced that it won't be this one. But I agree with Eddie. I think it will come at some point, but I just think it will be a closer spread than that they'll cover. They'll do something unlikely. But Packers at the Bucks. Pretty much a toss-up. So it's 1 point favorites for the Packers.
Wow, wait, the Packers are 1 point favorite now?
Mm-hmm.
They were 2 point underdogs to start. Well, there goes my talking point, because I was going to say, how on earth can you make the Bucks favorite for this game? I don't get it. But even with now, 1 point, that you're right, that's like a toss-up. I'm starting to turn around on the Packers. The more I watch them, that offense is just so in sync. They're, every drive they're clicking. They look phenomenal on offense. Defense, not so much. The issue here becomes, again, I think it's going to be, can the Bucks stay with the Packers? Can they score enough points to keep with them? And from what I've seen on the Bucks, I don't think they can. I think they can put up 24 points, but I don't think they can put up 34, 40 points, and that might be what you need, unless the Bucks defense really steps up. And they're a better defense than what the Packers have been playing lately. So that, the Packers putting up all these points is kind of skewed by the fact that they haven't been playing the greatest defenses. But I can't see anyone right now holding the Packers below 30 points.
Yeah, part of me, here's the thing, is I felt pretty good about taking the Packers up until the moment where you said you start to change your mind on them. And this seems like the ultimate Duke curse on the Packers. So Bucks are going to win by 20. It just seems like a mismatch. The firepower that the Packers have, the way their offense looks, the Bucks look. They look like they've rolled out a bunch of guys who are coming back from retirement to play. In the case of Gronk, they literally have done that. In the case of Brady, he probably needs. Is Brady even going to know where he is this game? Yeah. Does he know how many downs there are? Does he know which quarter he's going to be playing in?
So I don't putting up fingers like 4.
I don't even get what's the worst readout of that. That either one, he knew it was 4th down and was trying to trick him. Is that a great look to try and pull one of the dumbest, stupidest moves to try and fool 7 on-field officials that it was 3rd down when it was really 4th? Or is it worse off? Or is it worse off that if he really didn't know, that he doesn't even know in the most critical down what the actual down is? I don't know what's a worse look for him.
I think the worst look is him. I think the worst look is what happened, which is that A, he clearly didn't know, and then B, they're not even just confident enough to open up and own that mistake. So the fact that they've tried to spin it that of course he knew which down it was. It's like, oh yeah, then why was he flashing the 4 fingers? The idea that he was going to, kind of as you touched on, not only fool all the on-field officials, fool the entire opposition team. They literally have a sign on the sidelines that says the down. So he's going to have to be like, no, you guys made a mistake on that one. I guess at a most too, they could even go to the booth to try and figure out if he really managed to convince everyone in the stadium that he might be right, that the scoreboard is wrong, that the down marker is wrong. You think at some point they'd be like, let's go check the replays and see how many downs you've had then. And then he's gonna be like, no, those are altered videotapes, guys. That was.
This is going deep. This conspiracy.
No, but it's just he clearly didn't know what down it was, and. It's not the worst mistake that's ever been made. It's a very un-Tom Brady-like mistake, but it's not the worst mistake ever. To me, the more egregious thing about what he did was whether it was 3rd down or 4th down, why were you going for the throw that he went for? He threw it into coverage way past the 1st down marker, just a really dangerous throw. Whereas he actually had, if you watch the replays, they have one of their backs coming out of the backfield who's kind of around the 1st down marker that he could have just dumped him off to for the 1st down. But that's more concerning to me than him actually not knowing which down it was. Neither are good, though. So I'm going to take the Packers.
Oh, okay.
I think the Browns
You take the
win this
Browns in
game,
this
too.
one?
Yeah. They're going to finish the first one, and then they're going to fly quickly down to Tampa Bay and win that one, too. But I think, I'm going to take the Packers. I do think, similarly, they're going to have their back-to-earth moment. They're not going to go 16-0 either. So there's going to be this moment where it's like, oh, you know how we didn't think the Packers were going to be amazing? Turns out they're not amazing. But yeah, I'll take them to continue going for at least one more week.
Yeah, and I mean, this is another one where you look, the Packers, the Bucks are 3-2, but their 3-2 is not a spectacular 3-2. You know, they've lost to the Saints and they've lost to the Bears. And then their wins are the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Panthers. Maybe one of those is a good team out of their wins, not out of all their games. But you know, like, they haven't been very convincing. They're losing to the teams that are better than them, and they're barely beating the teams that aren't very good. You know, I'm a little disappointed with how they've been. I thought they would be a better team than this, to be honest.
I mean, it's one of those ones I'm torn on, right? Because I came into the season thinking I didn't think they were going to be as good as a lot of people did. So in some ways I feel vindicated, but it's sad, and it's going to be extra sad if Tom Brady really does play for another 2 years after this, because he's only going to get worse, and he's going to be a shadow of his former self. He already is one. But if his game management also goes out the window, and he's literally like he's punting himself on first down and stuff, like, is this the future? Like, literally, team kicks off to the Bucks and Tom Brady just punts the ball, like, but.
Just watching this horrible descent of a superstar, but like on a weekly basis.
Well, maybe this is his thing, right? He was the, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, and now he is going to be the greatest living evidence of CTE of all time. So he's trying to have that be his lasting legacy. He's like, not only did I win Super Bowls, but I proved beyond any reasonable doubt that people suffer from brain damage from playing football.
For me, I'm going Packers as well. So I think Rodgers just looks too good at the moment. I think he's thrown, 13 in the last 4 without an interception. I think Frank's point was right at the start about the fact that the Bucs are probably a slightly better defensive unit than they've come up against, but I don't see them not scoring. I think they're averaging about 38 at the moment. I don't see them not scoring in and around that. So what I'm saying is, do I think the Bucs will score more than about 35 to 40? Probably not. So, and if they do, I mean, the over looks a great bet, but I'm going with the Packers. I just think it's a toss-up, but I'm going with it.
Also worth mentioning, right, the Packers are coming off a bye. So, in a way, you have to like a good team, going back to that argument of having had rest, preparing for a game. You have to have, again, like the good team coming off a bye.
Niners Nation time.
Yeah, let's go on to the Niners misery.
Oh, is there a new name for it now?
Yeah, they've rebranded the website. It misses the alliteration, but still not bad.
So the Rams are 3.5 point favorites.
I don't really get this spread. I don't get why it's not bigger. I think the Rams are legitimately good. I think the Niners must be close to kind of mentally checking out for the year. I guess the fear here is that it's a good team who feels like they're fighting for their lives, because the Niners season will honestly be over if they lose this one. I'm going to take the Rams, and I'm going to take the Rams to cover the spread.
I thought the spread would be bigger for the Rams. I thought there'd be heavier favorites than this, but it's one of those where this is the moment for the 49ers, right? If they lose this, then the season is over and they're checking out. They probably are at the moment anyway. But I just think this is that last game. It's divisional. It's an opportunity. So if you were looking at a spread slightly heavier, maybe like 5 or something like that, I might have been taking them to cover. But I think 3.5 points is too good for the Rams. So I'd take the Rams as well and to cover that spread.
I mean, did you say the Niners are checking out? I would argue, did they ever check in? Their wins are against the Jets and the Giants. That's not much of a checking in.
It's true, and they haven't been affected by injuries at all, as we determined last week. So They're just a bad
Yeah.
team.
They're the only team in the NFL that has an injury. It's insane. You should see it. Every other team's injury report just has blanks, and then theirs is just covered with stuff. I saw Shanahan was on the injury report because he stubbed his toe last week. I wasn't sure if he
You know
was
what?
coach.
Flip my pick, Sam. Flip my pick. The Niners are going to win this. Flip my
Good.
pick.
I'll tell you what. I'll even go a burger and a pint that the Niners don't come within 7.
Okay.
Oh, wait, so that is going to be your side bet. Okay, I'll write that down.
Yeah,
That's my side bet because in this I'm actually taking the Niners, and then Niners with the point. No, I was kidding.
Flip my pick, Sam. Niners to win. Niners with the points.
Yep, done it. And
But
Frank,
Sam, don't
you're
flip
taking
my
Rams.
picks. Keep them the same. Damn it.
Oh my god, so brutal. And you're doing Rams to win by more than 7. They don't come within in the whole game, or are you just saying the end result?
No. They win by 7 to Eddie, but I want the normal spread for our purposes.
Win by
But
more
I do-
than 7.
I do want Jared Goff into my veins because it's going to be beautiful.
Win by more than 7, correct? Because you said within 7. So
Yeah, are they winning by more?
7's a
than-
push.
okay.
I
little
can't
bit
be
of a
asked.
sissy.
I can't be asked with a match.
Oh,
bet.
how many do you want, Eddie? What do you want?
7
What do you
and a
want?
half.
10 points?
7 and a half.
Seven and a half.
All right, I'll give him 7.5.
It didn't need that attitude. It didn't need.
It's the only attitude he can bring.
All right. Chiefs at the Bills, and the Chiefs are 4-point favorites. So both off the back of surprising. I guess the Titans are good, but surprising in the manner, and then the Chiefs obviously off the back of a very surprising loss. Chiefs 4-point favorites.
A battle of ended MVP hopefuls in Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. This is the one, though, where Patrick Mahomes comes back and shows that he's still in the MVP race against all of Eddie's wishes. I'm going to go Chiefs and Chiefs to cover. Wait,
It's
what's
not
the
like
spread? Is it 4?
Doesn't even fucking know the spread.
Yeah, 4.
Well, because I have different spreads than what he gives me every time.
Oh wow! Is this why you're doing badly? The half points you're losing.
Yes. Do you know how many
Frank
ones
wants-
I've lost by point?
Frank wants different
Not
spreads
many.
to us. Okay.
Not many.
Let me guess. The website you had Bills plus 35 for the Tuesday night game. Look, I think you know my golden rule. Take the really good team bouncing back from a defeat. That's rule number 1. Issue here is
What if they're
potentially
both
two
good
really
teams?
teams. And look, I don't think the Bills are as bad as they looked on Tuesday night. But obviously, I think the Chiefs are the better team, and I'm going to take the Chiefs to get back on track and to win and to cover the spread.
Should be a fun one, though, at least. That's going to be a good game to watch.
Yeah. It was interesting, though, that the Chiefs were, like, the defense was pretty much blown out by the Raiders, and it was a weird one to watch. But what was it, Mahomes' first interception he threw last game? And then, obviously, Allen threw a couple that pretty much the Titans punished them on. But
That's because Allen's trash.
I think I'm going against you. I think I'm going to take the Bills to win, and to I'll take the spread on that one, obviously. I don't know. I just think, like Eddie said, I think the Bills didn't look as bad as the score suggested, but there was some worrying things about that Raiders loss. Like, the Titans are a good team. I don't think the Raiders are. And there were some worrying things there in that game. So I think I'll take the Bills.
The thing the Raiders showed, right? I mean, this is the issue of playing the Bills. You know they're going to have one devastating quarter. So what you have to show is that you can keep within touch in that quarter, and then you can beat them in the other 3 quarters. That's the challenge. The game can't be out of sight after that one quarter. And so that's going to be the issue for the Bills, is they can't have, the Chiefs might have a 21 or 28 point second quarter or even first quarter, and they can't be in the situation they were against the Titans, because you're not going to come back from, 15 points down.
Over-under's 57. What do you think?
I'd take the under.
Yeah. The Chiefs have only hit that once this year.
I wouldn't
last
love
week.
it. I'm not a big fan of over-unders anyway, but I mean, it comes back to that thing, what am I going to predict? What's the likely score from this? And I guess all the likely scores I think in my head are probably overs because I'm putting the Chiefs on 30 plus points, and I'm putting the Bills in at least 20. So I'm still going to take the under. I'm going to be bold.
Well, it's not bold. It's 50-50.
Okay, we'll say that for every pick, I guess. Technically, everything is 50-50 in these picks, right?
Not the money line.
Okay, it's 99% one way. I guess in some instances, you have a push. It's 57, right? So it's not 50-50. There could be a push.
Last but not least, Cardinals at the Cowboys. And the Cardinals are 1.5 point favorites. Andy Dalton's Cowboys. What are they going to do?
I'm really torn on this one. Part of me feels like this is such a great matchup for the Cardinals because the Cowboys are not good defensively. They're missing so many key players. You kind of feel like the Cardinals might be able to do what they want with the ball. And then at the same time, you have to assume that the Cowboys, even if Andy Dalton is competent in filling in, that he's not going to be quite as dangerous as Dak Prescott is. Then there's the other part of me that thinks Andy Dalton is competent. This is a team that's going to rally round after a severe injury to a team leader. The Cardinals aren't that good. The Cardinals just lost Chandler Jones. So not the worst matchup for the Cowboys the week after losing. And I'm going to lean that way, and I'm going to take the Cowboys to win this game, but don't love it.
So combined, the Cardinals and the Cowboys have 5 wins, right? 5-5 if you combine the records. Out of their 5 wins, all of the teams combined have 3 wins. They've beaten the shittiest teams you can beat in the NFL. The Cowboys beating the Giants and the Falcons. The Cardinals beating the Redskins.
Oh my God.
What was formerly the Redskins.
Formerly, that's just as bad as saying.
I said formerly.
You're just giving yourself an excuse to say
it's
the name.
It's even worse because you're reading it off of a screen and it doesn't say that.
It's like Braveheart.
It doesn't say anything in fairness. But beating the Jets.
So wait. So what are you looking at? What are you looking at if there's nothing?
It's just the symbol. It's just the symbol.
But it must, okay, so it's the Washington football team's symbol, which is no longer their other symbol.
It's a W, no longer a Native American. But yes, they've beaten the Jets, Washington, and the crappy Niners. So
I think you're doing a slight disservice to the Niners there because you said their opponents have combined 3 wins. 2 of those are from the Niners. So really the spin is, apart from the Niners, their opponents have combined 1 win.
1 win. Well, I mean, are the Niners any good? We just went through that. They're terrible too. So yeah, I'm just going to go with the fact that I want a free Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and I'm going to take the Cardinals here. I think it could go either way. I agree with what Eddie said. I can't – it's tough to be confident in this game. I don't know what team is going to show up for either of them. They both have a little Jekyll and Hyde in them. So,
are you considering this as 1.5 points, Frank? You want to do the Falcons-Panthers kind of one where you're going to take the Cardinals, the spread to be covered?
No, I'll go Cardinals in both.
Okay.
If the Cardinals win, they win.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the Cowboys just give away too many points at the moment, right? And I granted, Murray at the Cardinals had a pretty poor couple of games. Like, he threw for over 400 yards against the Jets. It was good. It was a good performance, even against a terrible team. And for me, the Cowboys can't stop people scoring, and I think the Cardinals can score quite a few on a good time. So I think for me, I'll take the Cardinals, and then to obviously cover that spread as well. So, and I think that's it, right? I don't think I'm missing any games. It's all a bit changed up, but I think that's all of our games, right?
Those are all the games. I mean, I guess, right, we didn't really mention when we talked about the Jets, we kind of hinted at it in passing, but the big news, obviously, from them is that they cut Bell this week, which was an interesting move because when they signed him, it was a marquee signing from them. And it's going to be, I mean, for them, it has almost zero implications because they're just terrible. So whether or not they have him or don't changes nothing. But it's going to be interesting to see where he lands because there's a possibility of him going to, say, the Patriots, and the Patriots then having a potentially elite running back, which could make them look even more dangerous. He might go to the Bucks, who, because of injuries, maybe have a little bit of need for a running back, which again, for them, could be good. Also the kind of thing that Brady might really like because he's also pretty good coming out of the backfield in terms of as a receiving back. So that could be interesting. That's and the interesting spin there is I think the Jets owe him around $6 million for the season. If another team signs him, it's like an offsetting contract. So he's going to get his $6 million no matter what from the Jets. So another team could sign him to like a veteran minimum or whatever, and then he'll still get his $6 million in total. But the team that he signs for will pay him whatever portion they agree to with him. So it basically opens up every single team in the NFL, regardless of cap space, as a potential landing spot for him.
What was the I saw the news, but like what was the Jets' given reason for letting him go? Because it seems pretty draconian, really, just to cut someone like that. I mean, the team's doing terribly, but
I don't think he wanted to play.
Do you think is it something a bit more personal?
I think he was basically going to say, I don't want to play anymore on this team.
Well,
so I'm not going to play.
So there's two different. They've supposedly been trying to trade him since the trade deadline last season. So they've tried and failed to get him off the books through a trade. And then I basically think they figured we're not going to be able to trade him because of his contract. So he's unhappy, probably potentially a cancer within the team. Let's just get rid of him.
He has cancer?
The second issue too is there's been some rumors like he liked 2 tweets where people had basically insulted Adam Gase and called him incompetent, and Bell had liked both, like 2 of them, and the team was really unhappy with the fact that he'd done this. They thought it was unprofessional, which admittedly it's unprofessional, and that's also supposedly part of the reason why. And speaking of players who maybe are getting themselves into a little bit of a complicated situation by not behaving themselves and being the best role model in a locker room, we discussed Michael Thomas being suspended for the Monday night game when we recorded on Monday, and being suspended by the Saints. And the reason for that was supposedly that he'd got into a fight. As it turns out, he was not suspended by the Saints. They just decided not to play him. He, however, was fined his weekly game check. And the reason why he was not played wasn't so much that he got into the fight. It was that after getting into the fight, he refused to listen to coaches who were telling him to calm down, basically. And he got into an altercation with coaches, basically telling them where to go. And
where did he tell him? Like to the mall?
Yeah, exactly. Supposedly he's had a number of issues over the past few years in terms of his behavior and not being the easiest person to deal with. Now, the interesting thing about Michael Thomas, this was clearly just a shot across the bows from the Saints. He has a clause in his contract where if they suspend him for a week, the team suspends him for a week because of his behavior, then it will void all of his guaranteed money in his contract. So I think it's $26 million guaranteed.
Wow.
So this is kind of a warning shot clearly being fired by the Saints, saying like, you need to sort yourself out. If not, we are going to suspend you, and it's going to void this clause in the contract that guarantees all of that money.
That is awesome. Good for the Saints. I don't get it.
Like, the Saints, interesting move from his agent.
Yeah, his agent. I don't get it. Has this always been an issue with him? I get he's had an issue with that player before, but I'd never heard him being, like someone who's hard to play with or is, annoying or is a cancer to the team, as you said, for Le'Veon Bell.
Wait, he has cancer?
Maybe that's what it is. Now, if they suspend him for having cancer, do you think he can file a grievance?
Oh, I think that would be a pretty mega grievance.
The thing is, you're right. I think everyone who talks about Michael Thomas in a way speaks about him as being a good role model from the standpoint that he works really hard,
He's
trains
got
really
crosses
hard.
under his eyes.
Yeah, he's a man of God. But the issue is now when all this comes out, it turns out that he obviously has not been that easy to deal with from a coaching standpoint. And supposedly even like hasn't turned up for press days and stuff, like all sorts of issues with him. And I guess the closest comparison at this point is he's at the crossroads that Brown was at with the Steelers. And he needs to be careful.
You think
here.
he's that far?
I mean, I think the Saints are in a position now where they don't want to find themselves in the spot where the Steelers were, where you have this elite wide receiver who has no trade value because he's been so difficult to deal with. And I think basically what the Saints are saying to him now is like, either sort yourself out or we are going to get rid of you. It doesn't matter.
I don't know enough about Michael Thomas, but I can't imagine he's as crazy as Antonio Brown. I mean, Antonio Brown has some serious issues. It was pretty clear he was just off his rocker the past year and a half. I don't see Michael Thomas being that delusional and crazy.
Probably not, but I think the interesting thing, it's actually kind of interesting in a way. So if you're dealing with a like troublesome wide receiver, you can use the Antonio Brown example now of like, I know you think you're the best wide receiver in the league. I know you think that someone will always take you, but look at Antonio Brown. If you become really difficult to deal with, people will not tolerate it. You might get a second chance. You might even get a third chance, but people will eventually give up.
Yeah.
It's also the interesting one. It's going to be interesting to see the fallout from the Dak Prescott injury. The next time a player is kind of holding out for a bigger contract, as an organization, do you point to, do you want to be in the situation Dak Prescott is in now? Like, okay, he made a ton of money from, the deals he ended up being forced into, but I'm sure right now Dak Prescott wishes he had the 5-year, $150 million deal or whatever it is he turned down.
So in some lighter news, I don't know if you guys had seen this. Outside of the Astros game, there was a person with a megaphone just ridiculing on the Astros, and the teams inside the stadium could hear it because obviously there aren't fans and things like that. So there was apparently someone with a megaphone behind Petco Park saying the baseball community has not forgotten your transgressions. And then he went through each player and said, "You are a cheater. Shame on you." So like Jose Altuve, "You are a cheater. Shame on you." And then next person, "You are a cheater. Shame on you." Just on repeat continuously as the game is going on. That is a Eddie Hewitt level troll job right there.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I'd be that dedicated, but that's the person I aspire to be.
It's not hard to be that person.
Who knows? If Arsenal keeps it up, maybe it'll be Gunnosaurus Rex with a megaphone out there.
What, to the directors?
Yeah. "You have made me extinct. Shame on you."
Can he speak, though? That's going to be his big issue, right? You're probably not allowed to talk. He'd be
he
breaking character.
Yeah, he just roars and no one has any idea what's going on.
I just think, wow, he's so dedicated. He's still turning up, even though he's not even being paid anymore. He's outside the stadium doing his mascot job.
He roars, and then he has someone underneath him pull closed captions across his body, so it says what he's saying.
One thing we didn't do before we moved on from the NFL, though, is our bet of the week. And
mine's not NFL related, so
okay,
I'm holding
mine isn't actually.
Okay, well, we can do it at the end, but I want to say for the bet of the week, I want to introduce a slightly new gimmick. so that we can track our performance.
That's what you want to hear. That's what you want to hear with betting, a gimmick.
No, so what I want to say is
I've got a good get rich quick scheme that I want to introduce here.
Some Ponzi scheme.
Where I'm going to recruit you, and then you're going to recruit 3 of your friends to bet, and then they're going to recruit 3 friends to bet.
So give me £5 for a bet, and then go get a couple of mates and bring it in.
Look, it's not a pyramid scheme. It's just multi-level marketing. Okay, get it right.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right. So come on, Eddie? What's your get rich quick scheme?
The gimmick is just that we each have a pot of 100,000 fictional dollars that you get to starting from this week, and you get to allocate your bets to. If you go bust, you're bust, and you're done. No more bets of the week. But it's an easier way.
Why do we have to start with 100,000? That's being very optimistic. Cool. That I have 100,000 to throw around.
Because it needs to be realistic for Eddie's gambling.
What about 100? What do I have to do 100,000?
Because that would open up. It sounds a little bit pathetic if you're like, I'd like to bet $5.50 this week.
Yeah, but it also just sounds ridiculous because I might just be like 100K all in on this.
And then you're done after 1 week if you do that. If you turn it into a joke, you're out after 1 week.
I guess the only way I would say this is a good idea is that if your bet is a long shot, but you just really like it because of the value, you could put less money down for the higher odds, I guess. So
It's either that or we need some like point system, right, that we attribute to the confidence of the bet. Because you might feel 1 week that like this is my absolute lock. Like Stradivarius this week is 100% winning. No way it loses. I'm willing to go 80,000 on Stradivarius. If it loses, I'm in big trouble for the rest of the year. But fine.
How much would you have put on Enable from that 100 grand?
Oh,
what to not win 100,000?
1 probably. So that's the only reason I'm introducing it, and I just chose 100,000. Look, we could do even stupider. We could do what Bill Simmons does. Bill Simmons does $1 million picks each week, but he starts with $1 million. He restarts with $1 million each week, regardless of how he did the previous week.
That's not gambling. No one has that.
Well, I mean, in fairness, he might. But he just like, so each week he'll be like, I'll put 300,000 on this, 300,000 on this, 400,000 on this, and it's like, oh, Bill Simmons lost all his money last week. What are you gonna do this week? Rebet $1 million. And that's why, at least if it's a set pool, like a set size of money, you get to track it. You can, and similarly, you can be like, Frank is $35,000 down, or Frank is $50,000 up. And look, you can turn that into a percentage easily. So you can be 35% down, 50% up. But if you start doing 100, it's going to be a little bit sad when you're like, this week I'm not feeling confident. I have to put 20 cents on this horse as an outsider, please.
Really pathetic, like end gambling, where you're just like down to your last bit of money. And I'm just sat there with like $30 left from 100 grand, like inches away from jumping off.
Oh, that's also what I want to see. I want to see one of us just hit 0 within 4 weeks.
It's like when you've run out in your account, but then you see you have like $2.35 in bonus money, and you're like, oh, this is it. I'm gonna turn this $2 in bonus money into 1,000.
Yeah,
we'll get to the point where we've got like $5 left, and I'll be like, I'm gonna do a 16-fold money line on the NFL to try and win it back.
Exactly. See, this is what I want. This is content. So okay, keep this in mind for your bet of the week at the end. You're gonna have to give it in that format now. So
okay.
Speaking of not bet of the weeks, we said already this was a good week for the NFL. Also an interesting week in the Premier League. Maybe 2 of the better matches that we've had so far in the Premier League season, with Everton playing Liverpool and City playing Arsenal. 2 matches that have huge implications for the top of the table. So interesting. Sam, maybe get your thoughts. How do you feel going into those? Then we'll get to lifelong Arsenal supporter Frank. See how he's feeling.
2020 being life. So I think it's good to have the Premier League back. International breaks always depress me.
Sorry, just for those, Frank can maybe put a picture of his shoes on Instagram after this. But just Frank, the shoes that you just showed us, which obviously are supposed to say Gunners on the back of them, because of the like shoe tab on the back, they just say Gunners.
No, they don't. They purposely don't put the G in because they don't want it to be violent in the U.S. They don't want
Okay,
gun
they're like the
violence.
Washington Wizards. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the England Denmark game really upset me about international football. So it's good to go back to club football. And
While we're talking about
I think
just how on earth was that a penalty?
you want to explain it for people.
For people who didn't see, it was an incredibly dull match. You didn't miss anything really. That being said, England gave away a first half penalty. A moment when I don't know who the Danish attacker was, but he and Kyle Walker were sort of briefly competing for the ball. Pickford came out and collected it. The Danish player sort of fell to the ground as he swung his foot wildly at the ball. Kyle Walker also simultaneously swung his foot wildly at the ball and may have kicked his foot as they were both falling over in a contact that had absolutely no implications for sort of what the end result was. And the referee awarded a penalty. And what I don't get is it clearly wasn't one, but then I also do like the English commentators throughout the match who were kind of trying to almost justify it. Well, when you do look at it from this angle, it sort of looks like it might be a penalty, maybe if you're just from the right angle and at just the right speed. It's like, come on, it's just a really awful decision. Fortunately, it happened in a totally meaningless game. I mean, if that potentially, for example, had happened in a World Cup or something, and that's what knocks you out, it would be unforgivable.
Yeah, I didn't really get it. It didn't really seem to change anything to do with the shot, and it wasn't.
Pickford,
it wasn't. There was no intention from Walker either. It wasn't like he was doing anything. They were both trying to do an action on the ball to clear it. It wasn't like he was tackling him or something. It didn't.
I'd almost argue that it was just as much, if not more, the Danish player fouling Walker and grabbing onto him from behind. I would have been, if they'd actually just awarded a free kick to England, to me that would have been like, oh, a bit soft, but makes sense. The fact that was actually given as a penalty was just mind-blowing.
I mean, for me, that game more was about the collapse of Harry Maguire than it was about the terrible performance from England. But I mean, to go in 2 seasons from being
the continual collapse.
Yeah, it's just both professionally and seemingly personally, it's just all going wrong. And I read an article about it. It's like, does he just need to be given a break at the moment? Like, does he just need to be told, like, you need time away from football?
You need a timeout.
Whatever you do in your personal and professional life is negative at the moment.
Well, I think
just for the record, I own no Harry Maguire clothing, apparel, shoes, memorabilia, anything. So it's got nothing to do with me. That one is not on me.
I'd say the opposite. Imagine how bad his life would be if you did.
Do you want me to go buy? Do you want me to go buy something? See if I can make it any worse.
Well, I mean, let's just take the last week's pick, Dak Prescott to throw over. He
broke his ankle.
He broke his ankle.
You broke his ankle.
If you have Harry Maguire already descending, I mean, you are just pushing him down to hell, aren't you?
But here's the thing is, I think the saddest part about it, was just stupidity on his part to have the 2 yellow cards. To me, that was, to be sent off for 2 yellow cards as a central defender in the first half is worse than having a single bad challenge that gets you a red. It's just it shows how badly your mind is working in the match.
It's ill-disciplined.
And especially because neither of them were in important areas. They weren't sort of tackles that he needed to make or anything. And you just go, well, that's unlucky. You got put in sort of 2 last-ditch situations and you slightly mistimed them and off you go. It was just pure stupidity on his part. Also, just his reaction to the red card, which was just him just sort of, he just looked, it just looked like the energy just draining out of him. I mean, it made you feel sorry for him, even though you were angry at him, which is the saddest thing to say to a professional athlete, I think, is when just they're so pathetic that your disappointment in them has passed just into sympathy. And he certainly needs a break from the England team. There's no justification. His club form isn't good enough. There's no reason for him to be in the England team. I mean, he can be in squads, fine, but there's no reason for him to be starting at the moment. But even being in the Manchester United team is a stretch. but I guess they have to persevere with him because they've spent so much money on him, and he's club captain. So,
it's too high level. That's a too high level decision to make. But the thing we're getting rid of Maguire from the England team is, was it the game? Not the Denmark game. It was the one before, not the Belgian one. I can't remember. What was the friendly before?
Iceland.
It was maybe the Iceland one where there were more players. So the team had played more games in the Championship than the Premier League. So clearly there's a way that Southgate is trying to bleed in new and younger players. I think it's the perfect opportunity to get rid of someone like Maguire, or at least squad player him, not make him first team starter.
It is. The issue is he plays in the area of the pitch where I would say England have the fewest number of good options. Yeah. In any other position almost at the moment, you could drop Harry Maguire and it would be not even controversial. You know, like if England want to drop Kyle Walker, they can do so. They can justify having any other right back in the team. You know, they can do it easily. If you want to drop Rashford, you can justify it by, you know, saying that you need to play Sancho and Kane and Sterling. You know, you almost anywhere else in the park, you have this sort of easy pill for the player to swallow and for everyone else to say, look, you've lost a little bit of form. It's not the end of your England career. You just need to focus on club form for a little bit. With Maguire, not a lot of central defensive options out there for England at the moment. And every time one of them seems to be cementing themselves as the sort of next sort of steady, reliable person there, they fall apart. Like John Stones had a period where he looked like he was going to be the next sort of, you know, not sort of centre back right there for England for the next 10, 15 years. Now he can't even get in the City team.
Same with Gomez.
Yeah. I don't know if Joe Gomez ever looked quite that promising. But
no, but he was a promising, like you say, it's a skinny selection that England have there, but Gomez was one of them. And then like kind of even just that performance against Villa just completely threw him off, like threw him out of that running. Speaking of which. Yeah.
But I mean, just to touch, at this point, right, Leicester feel like it was daylight robbery, the 80 million for Maguire, right?
Absolutely. I think it's one of those where you sold him at the perfect time and you have just
they saw it coming.
Yeah, you have reaped the most apex benefit amount of money that you could have done. You have sold him at his absolute zenith of hype, popularity, quality, and he has just descended from there. Like that is
the most damning indictment of Harry Maguire's current career trajectory is that I'd say he's about 10 years away from being a reasonably difficult pub quiz question, where the thing about his career is name the England player who rode an inflatable unicorn in a pool at the 2018 World Cup. And that's me like, oh yeah, that was Harry Maguire. I remember that. That's right, when we thought he was really good at headers and his head was really flat.
Yeah, who was called Slabhead.
Exactly.
So yeah, the Premier League's back, and two really good games. Merseyside Derby under strict quarantine now, so no one could either go near it or watch it in a pub nearby. But whatever. I think I said a couple of weeks ago before the window, international window, that I like the idea of the Everton, Arsenal, and there was another team where it paid something absolutely ridiculous, like a crazy amount of money. The more I look at this Liverpool-Everton game, the more I see this as a good opportunity for like Everton to come back down to earth a bit, Liverpool to bounce back, because the last couple of games have been pretty dull between these two. I think it's been like 0-2 of the last three have been 0-0. But when you look at the opening four games for both of these teams combined, they've scored 23 goals, and obviously Liverpool have just conceded a lot as well. So I think they're averaging about, if you put that together, it's about 3 a game. I think Liverpool will bounce back. I think they'll win this one. I think in a way they kind of have to. They need to show that 7-2 was an absolute fluke, and they need to put in one hell of a performance here. I think Everton are really good. They're clearly not going to win the league. That might come back to bite me, considering Leicester a few years ago, but there's a bet I really like in this one, and I know you're not a fan of these kind of doubled up bets into singles, Eddie, but I like the idea of their Liverpool winning and over 2.5 goals, because it pays about 6-4, I think, or 7-4. And I think that's just quite a nice thing. I expect there to be goals in this game, and I think Liverpool will win it. So I may as well I'm just getting a little bit more value on it. I don't know what you think. But.
I don't hate that, although I probably would prefer the over 1.5. I always think the over 2.5 is just a little bit risky because, you're then hoping that you have at least one goal in the first half. Like if you're 0-0 at halftime, you're not feeling very good. I think Liverpool will bounce back. At least I don't expect them to lose. I'll put it that way. I think Sadio Mane being back for them is a huge boost just because I think he might be their most important player. Even though he occasionally kind of flies under the radar and when people are looking at, how their team is set up. So I think that's big for them. I think they'll win. In a way, I think the fact that Everton are now, they've had the 0-0s, but that's been in situations where Everton have, like last season, were a more defensive outfit. I think the fact that now Everton play sort of slightly more expansive football might play into Liverpool's hands a bit. Now, it's going to be the interesting test to see if Ancelotti kind of perseveres with that going against, a very dangerous team going forward.
Mo Salah, one off. He's on 99 goals for Liverpool as well. So you're backing him to get his 100th in this game?
Well, I'm sure they'll get like 5 penalties now, and everyone will rave about him again. But, but yeah, no, I think they'll win. But I definitely don't think they'll lose. I'm surprised. I think there's decent value in them. Just to win, there's decent value. So yeah.
Last time Liverpool lost back-to-back Premier League games, Eddie? 5 years ago.
Yeah.
They don't lose back-to-back games. So I mean, unless you're saying draw, I think it's a Liverpool win. And then I really like Arsenal in this next one. I don't know what you think, but I really think if De Bruyne doesn't play, I really fancy Arsenal in this one.
Frank, what's the feeling at the Emirates at the moment?
The feeling is strong.
Dude,
Highly strong.
Emirates Nation, do they have, what have they been saying?
They've been saying
thing.
A lot.
That's a Middle Eastern thing.
I mean, what I would say is the value is definitely in Arsenal or in at least like a double chance. What's a double chance right now for them? It's still probably over evens, easy.
Oh, for sure. I think they're
like 2-1.
I think their 6 to win the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like 2-1 then for a double chance.
The issue here is it's a little bit what Sam touched on. It's going to be the injuries for City because is Kevin De Bruyne playing? Is Raheem Sterling playing? You have 2 very crucial players for them who are both
and Aguero
potentially. Well, I don't know if Aguero is that important to them anymore.
Well, you have Aguero and Jesus are both out, right? So
I think Jesus is supposed to be back. I think City will win. I think. I actually feel the opposite. I don't think Arsenal are very good defensively, and I think this is a tough match for them. I'm not sure how well suited they are to playing a team like City. I know that they can do what they did last year against a few good teams and sit back and try and hit them on the counter, and they've got tons of pace, and that's possible. But I also just think that you might have the more likely outcome is that City just pick their way through them and score several goals. So I would again. Not something I would opt for with my actual money, but expect there to be sort of over 2.5 goals and a City win.
Okay. I think Arsenal, the way they beat them in the FA Cup last season in the summer is exactly how they'll win this game again. I think they're better defensively, and I think they do look a lot more disciplined under Arteta. This is what I find interesting, though, is that I think the great thing about having Arteta is that he will know more about Guardiola's strengths and weaknesses than most in terms of the internal knowings of how he set up a team, how they're playing, etc. And I think that counts for something. I think if Arsenal do win this game, and I like them to do it, they'll win it in exactly the same way as the FA Cup final. And for that reason, there's a good amount of value in Aubameyang to score any time. So he's just under 2-1. So he's about 17-10, I think, the last time I saw. So that would be my bet. So history suggests that this is not a good matchup for Arsenal. They notoriously do terribly against the top sides. But in recent, under Arteta, they've beaten Chelsea, they've beaten Man City, and they've beaten Liverpool twice, actually 3 times now because of the League Cup. But so there does feel like that's getting corrected. And for that reason, I'm hesitant to take Arsenal at the 6-1, even though I think they'll win. I'm more inclined to say that Aubameyang scoring any time is the better value. So my double or my bet, I'm ignoring the NFL because I think they're good matchups, but there are a lot of tough ones in it. My double is Aubameyang to score any time and Liverpool to win and over 2.5 goals. And I think it pays is 6-4 and 17-10. So I think that pays about 3.2, I think. Probably have to work out the exacts, but that's my double.
That's your actual bet of the week, or that's just your pick for this match that you won't actually be betting?
No, I think that's my bet of the week. I really like it. And now that we've got this fake money, I wouldn't put a huge amount on it because obviously there's good odds on it, right? I don't need to put as much on to get good returns. But yeah, that's my bet of the week is Aubameyang to score any time and Liverpool to win and over 2.5 goals.
As a parlay or as
over 2.5
goals?
Goals? Over 2.5 goals in both matches, or over 2.5 goals in the Liverpool-Everton match?
Yeah, so there's a mixed bet you can do where it's Liverpool and there to be over 2.5 goals in the game total. Yeah. And then the other one is just Aubameyang.
It was unclear over which one you were taking the over 2.5 goals in, if you see what I mean, because you're picking 2 different matches.
Got you. Okay, so over 2.5 and Liverpool to win as one bet, and then Aubameyang to score any time is the other bet. And I'm taking that as a double.
Okay, interesting. How much of your now fictional 100,000 or real 100,000, I don't know how confident you are, do you want to put on your bet of the week then?
I'm definitely not putting on my own money, which sounds like I'm not confident, but fictional money, I want to put on like $5,000. I don't think I need to put that much on to win a fair amount back.
Okay, so 5,000 on that as your bet of the week. If you win, would return 29,900.
Shade under 5, Sam. It's pretty good.
Frank, do you have your bet of the week?
Yeah, I can segue in because I also want an anytime goal scorer. So I am going for Zaha to score anytime. He's got 3 goals in 4 matches, and he's playing Brighton, who he's scored the most goals out of any other team in the Premier League in his career. And it's a pretty decent price. I think it's about almost 3-1. So for someone who's already, hitting the back of the net, playing a team he seems to feel comfortable scoring against, I think it's a pretty good bet.
Yeah, he's 5-2 anytime goal scorer.
Love it.
So how
Book
much
me
of your...
for $10K?
Wow. Okay. And my bet of the week is going to be, I guess, more typical for me. I'm going for an NFL fourfold. I am going to do the Vikings, Ravens, Colts, and Patriots money line. And that pays 2.94. And I'm going to stick 10,000 on it.
Oh.
So interestingly enough, if we all win, we will have very similar returns from our various bets.
That's why I picked mine, so I could be even with Sam.
Yeah, we basically, if we all win, we basically come out around about the same level of each other. Now, admittedly, if we all lose, Sam's 5,000 up. Right. Any other stories from the world of sport? I guess maybe worth just touching on the fact, our little horse racing segment. We've got Champions Weekend at Ascot this week, a couple of good races. The highlights of which, I suppose, are Stradivarius back to the preferred distance, back to being a stayer. So interesting to see if you both think bounces back in what maybe not ideal conditions, because it might be a little bit heavier than Stradivarius would ideally like. And also have Palace Pier putting its unbeaten record to the test. So maybe an interesting one there to see. I think if Palace Pier wins this, right, it goes into next season as the sort of next potential superstar of horse racing. Now, as Pinatubo will tell you, going into a next season as the next potential superstar in horse racing is not always the best thing. But certainly, if Palace Pier wins this, you'd have to say that's the position it will be in. So, what do you think? 2 odds-on horses in 2 relatively good races. Do you think? Are you confident?
Ascot Champions Day. There is no worse place to just piss your money down the drain than in those 6 races.
Well, and now throw in the fact that the weather is awful.
I mean, that's always part of the problem, right? You're fighting against 2 things. You're fighting against, one, a lot of horses that probably weren't peaked for this. They were peaked for races before, then maybe did well, and now they say, hey, let's have a go at Champions Day. Or they're just done for the season. You know, they just don't want to race anymore at this point. And you're dealing with shitty weather in England in October. So it's a nightmare for picking horses. I still like to bet these races because they are fun races and there's a lot of good horses in it. But you can get murdered in these bets because a lot of times you'll have that horse whose favorite just is done for the year, runs a shitty race, they write it off, no one cares, and a 14-1 horse hasn't come close all year, you know, picks it up and wins. Mm. Having said that, I don't think you can go against Stradivarius. It did race 2 weeks ago now, 3 weeks ago. But
it'll be 13 days at the time of racing.
Yeah, that's a short time, but it doesn't have much it's going against. I guess that's the other thing it has in its advantage. It doesn't have a standout. That's
well, the standout opposition probably is Search for a Song. Hasn't done much wrong, it has to be said, and the ground may suit it. So I think Search for a Song is probably the if you were to take it on, it's probably the move. Apart from that, you are looking at a lot of horses that have failed at lower, in sort of less testing races than this. I guess Fujairah Prince ran very well at Ascot, run well this season.
But hasn't ever come close to this distance, so
yeah,
that's going to be an issue.
No, given all those, I think there is a question mark a little bit over Stradivarius, just because you think it was being primed for the arc and for a mile and a half, and now stepping back up. So even though it's clearly the best stayer around, maybe this will not be the best time for it to race, and the ground is going to be incredibly heavy. So all of those staying credentials are really going to be put to the test. And I don't think Stradivarius is at its best in heavier conditions. But I also feel like this year we've kind of, not us, because we've been confident in Stradivarius in all of the races over this distance, but sort of collectively as the horse racing community, in a sense, have done our best with Stradivarius to talk up all of its opposition and talk up all of Stradivarius's weaknesses. And then almost every time it goes and wins by 5 or more lengths. So it's kind of the interesting one. It's a little bit like Batash almost this year, where every race it was coming into, everyone was saying, oh yeah, but this is going against it, and this horse is coming in better form, or this is a better, race too close together, or, whatever the little element of doubt was. And at a certain moment, you just have to accept it might be by far the best horse in this race. So even a subpar Stradivarius should win this, and could win this comfortably, even running at, say, 90%.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also the thing with Ascot is the drainage there's pretty incredible. So when it's heavy, it's not like a true bog down heavy. So even if the weather's bad, it won't be as truly destructive. I think this is a worse race for it. But just out of interest, was Stradivarius already confirmed for this pre-arc? Did they already say it was going, or was it a poor? So it was what they may consider as it didn't run fast enough, well enough.
No, I don't think so. So for example, when you looked at the anti-post odds for this race pre-arc, which I'd kind of been keeping an eye on because I contemplated throwing it into a few things. So I was always just kind of seeing it drifted a little bit going into the arc. I think it was 6-4 for this on an arc day, for example. So obviously there was an element of doubt as to whether or not it would go. I think there was also the prospect, which could have been for 2 reasons, right? If it had won the arc, maybe it's instantly retired. So you have to throw that in as a possibility. Second of all, even if there was a possibility of just being retired anyway. Now, obviously, it's not only not been retired, they're confirmed it's coming back next year. So
it's got the Tory back on as well, right?
And Gosden is saying, and Gosden is like a Debbie Downer usually when it comes to his horses. He's been saying Stradivarius has looked great, bounced back from the arc perfectly. They're super happy with it. And again, this is Gosden and not O'Brien. So for him to be talking confidently about a horse, even about one he sort of loves, that's an indication that he at least feels that this is not a race that it's not primed for.
That said, I mean, search for a song. If the horse gets as coked up as Murphy, is it going to be a good? Is it just going to fly?
Yeah, Murphy will get off it and be like, "I can't believe that was over 2 miles. It felt like a 5 furlong sprint."
I think the value is Stradivarius. I think it's got the Tory back. I think it would be
over 2
more
miles.
experience.
It's a 1.7 and a bit, but even so.
I think there's good value in Stradivarius at 4 to 5. I still think there's value there. I think it is the best horse in it. It's had the experience over it. The Tory's back on it. I think it's run at Ascot. It's used to Ascot as well. So, for me, I take Stradivarius. The race I'm interested in is that 340. It's almost like that's been almost all of our discussions when it comes to horse racing, right? The kind of magical, all those 1-milers.
We already know who you're taking, Sam. We already know that you're gonna tip Pile Driver. I know that you have to do it.
Serpentine's in the race as well.
Oh, maybe you can tip them all. Magical.
Oh, here we go. I'm not I would.
Pile Driver, Serpentine.
Yeah,
Japan.
The Champion Stakes is going to be a good race. So I think Sam's right on that one. Magical's the favorite. I can't take Magical when she's the favorite. That's whenever she is favorite, it never wins. So
I mean, I will tell you that your history would show you to be absolutely wrong because it's only one, maybe 2 races above odds on. The argument here would be favorite when not odds on. Perhaps that's the spin. But the case against Magical is when you look back historically through all of its Group 1 wins, it's like, 2 to 9 in a Group 1 in Ireland.
Yeah, but that's different though. I mean, 2 to 9 in a Group 1, it's clearly not racing against other Group 1s. Like when it's predicted to do well in a tough competition, I feel like it never does. That's kind of what I'm saying. You're right. You are right. I am completely wrong on that it was really low odds for those, but I don't even consider those big races.
We need to clip that recording. I'm going to fall asleep to that every night.
Yeah, you do more than fall asleep to it.
It's a difficult race for me, though. I have to say that one. I find that really tough. There's quite a few horses.
I have
in
my
there
pick for that one.
All right, what is it, Frank? Can I predict what I think your pick is?
Adeab.
Okay, yeah. Interesting. That was not who I would have thought you were going to.
I'm going to go Adeab each way, 10 to 1 right now. It's a good each way bet. It loves Ascot and loves soft ground. And you combine those two, and that's it. It'll be up there. I mean, its form in Ascot, it was second to Lord North. It was second to Magical. It won.
I like that you're naming horses in this race. I like that you're naming horses in this race that have beaten it, though.
Yeah, but I'm also naming like
coming into this. It's lost. It's lost
because
to this one. It's lost to that one.
A big knock it has is that it's not up to that level. But I think that's a bad knock considering it is right at the level of these horses. It's coming close to beating them. It was within a length of beating Magical last year. I think it can easily do it this year or come close again. I think it'll hit the top 3.
Yeah, my tip for this race would be Scaletti each way, which is around 10 to 1, depending on where you're looking. Can be a little bit bigger, a little bit shorter. Ran well at Longchamp. My only issue with it is it's 2 weeks. So you're always worried that that's taken a bit out of it, but obviously ran well at Longchamp in horrible conditions. So I don't have any fears about the ground going into this one, at least, which you could be worried about with a few of them. But yeah, I actually don't love this race. I think this is a race that kind of looks way better on paper than it will be. I think these are a lot of nearly horses racing against each other, and I don't think there's any real star quality in this.
I'm torn between Power Driver and Serpentine. I mean, I'll disagree with the star quality aspect because a lot of these were good art prospects and at that moment. The thing with Power Driver though is in the ledger, if it wasn't for the horrible drift it had, it was looking good and it was looking strong. Problem is, Power Driver I think has only run on good ground, so it would be a complete unknown in the elements that it's in. But I think it went off at about 7-2 in the ledger, and now going 12-1. I think that's too much of a reaction the wrong way. So I think there is value in a 12-1, and the issue I have with Serpentine is the reason I was tipping it up in the Arc. It's exactly the reason I probably want to tip it up here, is because it's an unknown. Aidan O'Brien said he liked it over the ground. It did enough in France before the Arc to suggest that they supplemented it massively for it. And they still got, I wonder if they got all that supplement money back because of the fee.
No.
I'm guessing they didn't.
No, they didn't get it. No, they didn't get any of it back. They didn't get the supplement money, and there was a bunch of other expenses too, of like sending the horses over and prep and all that. They didn't get any of that back.
They made the choice to do it, didn't they? They were like, rather than put them in and then arguably throw the Arc into a slight disrepute, right? Of then the horses testing positive and stuff like that. So they did it on their own back. So I guess that's why they don't get any money. The real
question about the supplements, I suppose. Are they going to get money back from their supplier that gave them supplements that didn't pass a drugs test? I mean, that's probably
an insurance. There's probably an insurance.
I meant that more. I'm implying that O'Brien is drugging his horses, Sam. Just to spell that one out more clearly. So that's going to be the issue, right? Several horses in here. How many of them? Which one of these will be? What's more likely to fail a drugs test this weekend? Oisin Murphy or any of the O'Brien horses? How's that for a match bet?
And it doesn't have to be Aidan O'Brien because they all tested positive. All the O'Briens, they share tainted feed.
Yeah, can we do like an over-under on the level of drugs in their body rather than whether one is negative or not? Because they're both going to be positive. So yeah, it's a toss-up for me between Power Driver and Serpentine as the value. I just think I'm going to go Serpentine because it's almost the same down and trip, but I still think it's just the same unknowns for the Arc survive this one. And for that reason, I think I'll probably tip up Serpentine again.
That's fair enough. I think you could make a case for almost every horse in this race. And then just because even though we mentioned it, is Palace Pier then your selection in the 305?
I actually don't know enough about it, but I mean,
well, you've got you've got Nazif racing in that one, which is always the interesting horse because it's a horse that almost always wins and yet is very rarely priced at under sort of 6-1. So you have a Nazif at 12-1, a horse proven that race in tough conditions. Also a horse that will always run its race. So in a way, Nazif sort of each way would tempt me more than 4-6 on Palace Pier. But, lots of other sort of interesting Circus Maximus there, another horse that Frank loves, another horse that always runs its race.
I do love Circus Maximus.
I
think this is a good. Yeah, this is a stay away because if Palace Pier is as good as it should be, it should dominate this field. But you could run into what we were saying, end of the year, not ideal conditions. Who knows if it's been prepped for this? I mean, it does look like it has been, but who knows? So is it worth taking a 4-6? Is it worth taking a 4-6? I don't know. The Revenant is an interesting one because the Revenant is really good on heavy ground, I'm pretty sure. That's because I remember
the Revenant,
it just ran in
the
Arc day.
It won Arc weekend on
the Arc
Saturday
weekend,
in heavy ground. But
yeah,
I mean, Palace Pier won in heavy ground last time out too, and that was in August. So whether or not it's primed for this, who knows? But certainly this was always on its schedule. It's been favorite for this race, for example, for all season basically. And having not raced for 2 months, you'd have to assume that quite a long time ago they made the decision that this was the path that it was going. So, in that respect, in many ways, Palace Pier should be the horse that you're most confident about. Because if it disappoints,
Yeah.
there are basically no excuses for it to disappoint.
Oh, there's an excuse. It needed a run. It's the most common excuse I hear in fucking horse racing.
Usually, they don't say that at the end of the season.
But if it hasn't raced in how long has it raced? What was the last time?
August. I mean, not that long ago. Not long ago enough that
It doesn't come off fresh. Needed a run.
It's never lost, so it must come off fresh because it's got to win. It's got to win the first race of the season every year. 2 years in a row, it's obviously won its first race of the season.
The only other horse I really like is Dream of Dreams in the sprint. I'm questioning whether I want to put additional of my 100K on that.
Two reasons I think there to be a little bit wary. One, already sprints to me are always kind of rolling the dice a little bit unless you have real star quality that you're certain of. Two, sprints in testing conditions really often become unknowns. And then three, a lot of horses in that race that should scare you for one reason or another. I mean, the Tin Man still chugging along, appearing in that race, the horse that we've followed for years.
Eddie, who's going to live longer, the Tin Man or the Tim Man?
I'm not even going to say live longer. I'm going to say what happens first. Tim dies or the Tin Man retires.
That will be a good prop bet. Tin Man versus the Tim Man.
But he, one master, obviously coming off, a pleasing arc weekend for it. Starman, who's won every race, could be anything at this point. And then just a bunch of, are you taking Dream of Dreams or Chief of Chiefs?
I'm taking Dream of Dreams. I do like the Chiefs of Chiefs.
Why don't you could do the Chief of Chiefs, Chiefs double. Just 66-1 and whatever the Chiefs are to win 1-2 or whatever. How disappointed would you be if Chief of Chiefs wins? You get the 66-1 in on the Saturday and then the Chiefs lose to the Bills.
That would be shitty.
Speaking of the Chiefs, I just saw that they're signing Bell.
Really?
Yeah, that just popped up on mine too.
Wow. That seems a somewhat unnecessary signing for them, but obviously it just gives them even more weapons.
Eddie, I saw Brando was running in that race as well. That's another ancient horse.
Yeah, a few interesting too from sprinters to see these sprinters kind of holding on in top level races. Quite, yeah, because you've got Chief of Chiefs is 7, Brando's 8, the Tin Man is 8.
It's crazy. It's crazy how these sprinters do it.
One master is 6. So.
Did you? I saw Frankly Darling was running. That's this season that has quickly become another Japan. It's so. After that, it lost by it was about 12 or 13 behind Love. You can't back it anymore. Yeah. After that Royal Ascot and how promising it looked, you just I think on it now as well. So it just. I
don't want to overreact to the Frankly Darling because it's only 2 races, right? So. And being thoroughly beaten by Love may be a result that doesn't age that badly, depending on what we see from Love in the future. But yeah, it's definitely a fall from grace from a horse that kind of looked like it might be one of the stars of the season to now being a horse that just kind of competing in Group 1s. And undoubtedly will win a couple. I'm sure next year it will win the odd race, and you'll kind of be angry at yourself that you didn't back it. It's fallen into that category of when it wins now, it's just going to be upsetting. Like, for example, if it wins this weekend at 12-1 and you do look at that race, there's not a huge amount of star quality there where you would say, oh, I can't believe it beat that horse. Antonio de Vega, sure. Wonderful Tonight, sure. But fundamentally, they're all horses that you would think maybe Frankly Darling could beat. So it's one of those, if it wins on Saturday, feel a little bit upset. But the fact that Dettori has switched to the other Gosden horse, clearly a reflection of what they think of it.
Exactly. It's always bittersweet, the Champions Day, because obviously it signals the end of the flat season, but jump season, I actually prefer in elements.
I almost prefer it. I think the thing I like about the jumps is that you get more sort of big name star performers appearing midweek. So almost every day you have that kind of one race to keep an eye out for, because you'll have some race, you'll have a top horse racing in a random race at Huntington on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect to it. I also think because they hang around for longer and just have longer careers, you have this nice thing that you have a horse that you follow for 4, 5, 6, 7 years and grow a real attachment to, which obviously you don't get that often in flat racing. I saw Tiger Roll is due to come back, make its reappearance potentially on the flat. I think at the end of this month. Supposedly that's the plan for it at the moment. That will be its reappearance. But you have a ton of
national winner, wasn't it? Tiger Roll.
Yeah, that was back to back.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like what it's known for.
No, I know.
Didn't that horse win that big race
a few times?
Wow.
Like the biggest race in the world in jumps racing? Did it race in that? But no, yeah, I think that's the exciting thing. In a way, yes, it's disappointing Champions Day. It's basically the conclusion of the flat season. But you do have, when you look at the horses are going to be reappearing over jumps by the end of this month, kind of first week of November, almost all of them will have made a reappearance. So there'll be lots of races with kind of interesting participants.
Yeah. What I like is almost with jumps, you get this almost like soap opera style to it, where these horses have these little rivalries, but everything is geared towards Cheltenham Festival. And I just think it makes it so interesting. Like, seeing what they do in these little races, like you say, at Exeter or Huntingdon, where they go off 1-8 favourites, and it's a case of sometimes they fall because it's their first outing, sometimes they win by 30 lengths, it's ridiculous. But everything is geared towards that 5 days at Cheltenham, and it's so good just to have those like rivalries go through it. And like you say, with the age of the horses, like the Corto Star, Denman style, where just every year it was one or the other. It was so good to watch, and that's what I love about jumps.
Yep. Now it'll be interesting to see, and obviously we'll focus on that more as that kind of picks up. Any other stories from around the sports world before we go?
No, I'm just going to get my meat smoking.
Dogging.
Have a nice night. I currently have a nice brisket and a pork shoulder and ribs on the smoker.
Wow.
Yeah, it's about 20 pounds of meat there, Eddie. A lot of meat. A lot more meat than you could handle, Eddie.
Is it more meat than Sam could handle?
I don't think $1 million question, isn't it?
No. There have been many challengers, but so far, no champions.
The limit does not exist.
For all those, though, who don't know, Sam is a world champion barbecue eating contest. He's put down 15 pounds of brisket in one sitting.
I'm going to make a joke, but even for me, it's too far.
Okay, on that note, bye.
Was it smoking sausage, Eddie?
No.
All right, then just hold it.
All right, see you guys.
All right, talk to you guys later.